Hello everybody. I am making this video to show everybody the 1965 Trotwood travel camper that I have just got. It looks a little rough. Yes, it is a diamond in the rough, I will give you that. It's got a broken front window panel there. The gas tank definitely has seen better days, and the tongue definitely has some surface rust and needs to be sanded and painted as well. The jack still works fine, even though it looks like it was from the time of Excalibur. I think this is like kind of related to the story of Excalibur, you know, where if you pull the sword out of the stone, then you're the man. Well, this is the same thing. If you get this thing to turn up and down as rusted as it is, you're the man too. Fortunately, I was able to do that as rough as it looks. Anyway, back to this. It's a 1965 Trotwood, and they call it Trotwood because, believe it or not, it was made right here in Trotwood, Ohio. Let's get some light. Trotwood symbol again. Show you a little bit of the inside after we get to the outside, but as it says it right there, Trotwood, Ohio. There's the model, there's the serial number, Trotwood Trailers Incorporated, Trotwood, Ohio. Right up the road by Dayton. Here's another one right there as well, you know. As I said, it's a 65, so we're going to go outside and look at the outside of it a little bit first. It had a bunch of junk in it that I had to get out of it first. And I mean a bunch of junk. It was filled all the way up. Needs all the exterior lights replaced. Outside pressure washed. Some of the panels may be replaced. Painted, definitely. Redo all the windows. A lot of the panels still seem pretty good on the outside. The exterior, it's got the hookup for the electric, the water. It's also got the gas thing as well, which I want to show you guys that. Well, I'll show you some other time in another video, but the gas does work, believe it or not. The stove still works. But since we're going inside, I guess I might show you. Anyway, here it is. Here's the inside. It has the fold down bed, which this thing folds up, blocks that, so you have a wall there, and then it comes down into a bed. It has the two seats there with the fold away table. I've got some of my junk and tools in here so far, so that's what you see. Storage under there. It's got a mirror here with a closet here. More storage down there. You know, it's got some water damage in here, as you can see, in and around, which for a trailer of this age, being where it was, sitting for as long as it was, that is to be expected. The hatch still opens up relatively easy, although I will still take it apart, re-oil it, get the parts back in good shape. So where everything is working fine, make sure none of the seals are dry rotted. Replace some of the windows, the screens. This part over here I found has the most water damage. This corner right here, I started tearing it apart to see how bad it was, and I'm definitely going to have to replace some of the 2x and 1x in there. I'm replacing all of the paneling in here. As you can see, this paneling here is different from this paneling, where somebody had, God bless their heart, tried, but I don't think they knew what they were doing. But they tried. That's all that matters. You know, as long as you give it the old college try. It's got lights. I plugged it up. All the lights work. All the outlets work. That light is a gas light, though. That light is an electric light. I don't know if there's any lights under there. I don't know, but there you go. POW, MIA, baby. Oh yeah, the stove. As for the stove, the stove works. 1965 Trotwood propane stove works. No leaks. I checked the lines. I've got a gas tester that I use for maintenance calls, and it's no leaks in the line at all. Even though I still will replace it probably because of its age. There's a few parts in it that's bent that I don't really like too much, but I might replace that as well. You know, if you're going to do it, might as well do it right. The sink has the water tank under here, which looks like it's galvanized. So that definitely will be replaced with a rubber one. Plastic anyway, you know, something newer than the galvanized, because who knows what kind of beautiful, tasty rust particles and calcium buildup is inside that tank. The refrigerator, trusty Kenmore. Well, it doesn't look that bad. A little cleaning, and when I plugged everything up, believe it or not, guys, it works. And it got cold for the couple hours I had it plugged in. The stove needs cleaning. Here is where they have some of the electrics. Not the best, not up to code, I would say, but it will be when I get done with it. I just have an extension cord coming through there with, you know, this, that, and the other hooked up to the wires, which it's acceptable for right now while I'm working on it, but not acceptable for when I'm done in the plans that I have for her. There's a drawer that goes here, which is right there. I took it out just exploring. This is on there. I just wanted to take it out to see what was, you know, underneath there, which I'll probably replace that with a drawer or some kind of storage as well. Plan on ripping up the floor. It's got these old tiles, which who knows, they might even be asbestos, the size that they are. I think they might be. But who knows, I'll have to check it out when I get on the Trotwood website and look at everything. There's storage underneath here. This whole thing raises up. And it also came with 2 Suzuki folding seats, which, I don't know, maybe I might incorporate those into this somehow. More water damage over there, up here, you know, right there. This thing's been sitting for about 8 years, what the guy told me. 8 years sitting where it was, underneath the trees, leaves, branches. It's in great condition for where it was and how long it was sitting. Believe it or not, I've seen worse sitting far less. I drove past one day going to a job. I seen this and I don't know what it was. I was just gravitated towards it. It just pulled me in. It sucked me in. It was something that I thought that my sons and I could really, you know, have fun restoring this together and using it to camp when we're done. More water damage over there. I don't know if you can see it or not. So basically, it's going to be a full resto. But yeah, I was driving past and I seen it and I was gravitated towards it. I had to go check it out. I had to go see maybe if it was for sale, you know? I mean, I've been looking for one of these campers for quite some time. And I actually had one a few years back, but it was nearly impossible for me to get it from where it was at because it was sitting there for 20 years and it was a complete rust bucket. It really wasn't worth salvaging. It was given to me. So after about a week or two of calling this guy, leaving messages, you know, finally saying, hey, man, even if you don't want to sell it, call me back, let me know something, man, so I'll stop bugging you. 2 days later, after I left that last message, he called me back. He said, what do you want to do with it? I said, I'll tell you, man. I said, I really want to restore it, you know. I mean, maybe not to all the way original, you know, the way it was. I said, but I want to get it looking good, livable, functionable. I want my boys to help me do it so they take pride in doing it, have fun with their dad, and it's something we can do in our spare time. Something that could be a memory for both of us, you know. Something they can learn and take from it. And I said, that's why, you know, I've been looking for one for a while. I seen this. I loved it. I had to ask about it. He said, man, I've had it for about 10 years. He said, I had it sitting there for about 8. He said, I had the same plans with my sons. My sons are all grown now. He said, I'm 50-some years old, and they don't really want to do that type of thing with Dad no more. I said, well, how much are you asking for it, man? He said, well, he said, I heard your story. I know what you want to do with it. And I'll tell you what. Come and get it. Here's the title. It's yours. For free. Blew my freaking mind. I said, what? I said, you're going to give me this trailer for free? And I told you I'd give you money for it, you know? I mean, we didn't discuss or negotiate a price. I said, but you're just going to give it to me? He's like, yeah, man. He's like, because you seem like you have the same passion I did when I got it, and I can't do it now. He said, and I see that you want to do it with your boys. Your boys are still young enough, which they are. They're, 10, well, 11 and 5. And I was just flabbergasted, I was like dumbfounded. So thankful, I must have thanked him 100 times the next few minutes. It almost brought tears to my eyes that, somebody during all this bullcrap that's going on can still be so compassionate, man, towards another human being that they never met. So I told him, I said, I'll be down later today to pick it up, man. I greatly appreciate it. I really do. He said, there's 2 conditions. And I thought to myself, oh, great. Here it is. 2 conditions. I knew it. He said, well, I got a title. He said, it has a title, he said. But, I never got it put in my name. It needs to be notarized in somebody else's name. And I'm like, well, okay, as long as you know where the person still lives, I know a notary. We can go take care of that. It's not a big deal at all. He said, okay, great. He said, but the other thing is, he's like, there's a bunch of junk inside of it. And I looked in it, and sure enough, there was. I mean, this thing was filled with tires, junk, car parts. I mean, it was horrible. Nothing like it is now. This little stuff in here you see is, my tools and stuff that I just took out of my truck today so it wouldn't rain on them. But it was completely filled with junk, tires, all kinds of garbage. I said, all right, fine, I'll haul it all away for you, bub. Came down there that day, got the title. Sure enough, hauled her off, and here she sits. I don't know how long this is going to take me because I do work a lot. It's going to be in my spare time. My sons are going to help me. We're both going to learn a lot from each other doing this. I'm probably not going to rush at all because I want us to take our time with it and do it right. Because I want this to last at least another 55 years. It's a 1965 Trotwood. It's 55 years old. If we do it right, we can make it last another 55. And that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to use the shit out of it to go camping in and create memories. It was a blessing that this was gave to me. Sometimes when you're not looking for them, they hit you when you least expect it. And I thank every day, I should say, God for everything He's given me in my life. And even things He hasn't given me, because there's been things that I prayed for and wanted so bad, but realized that I didn't need. I really didn't even want. I just thought I did. And He never gave them to me, and that was all good for a good reason. But enough about that. Here she is. Here's the Trotwood. She will be restored to her former glory. And my sons and I will have so much fun camping in it, creating memories. Like I said, I seen it and I fell in love with it. I hope maybe you guys do too. This is the beginning. This is what she looks like now. Take a good look. Because my plan is by the end of the summer, maybe even by the end of July, middle of August, she's going to look so much better than she does now. Please subscribe to my channel for updates. Notification button as well so you can see new things that I do to it. Like I said, it's going to be a process. It's going to be slow, but it's going to be done right. And it's going to be done in a family-oriented, spending time with your kids, especially during this lockdown COVID bullcrap that's going on now. What better time to do it, right? Right. That water damage inside, not getting off subject, but this is where it's coming from. See that? A lot of it's there. Some of the seals aren't sealed good around here, but this one is the worst. It's coming straight down and hitting all that. So this whole corner probably needs to be replaced. Who knows, once I get in there, start tearing it out a lot more. But I've got the supplies, I've got the know-how, I've got the time. I've got the account at Home Depot. I've got the resources. And I got the 2 underage laborers. What better way to do it, right? Alright, I'm out. You'll see it soon. Keep checking back for updates. Thanks, guys.